Okay, so content. How do you captivate with content? You've probably all been binge watching other people's content, whether it's people within your niche, people that you want to learn from, or how the hell do I even just speak to my ideal client? You've probably watched a lot of things from a lot of different Instagram gurus and wondered, how do I implement these strategies from 20 different people into my own content? Are they right in doing it? Are they wrong? Who has the best strategy? The issue being is that none of them is wrong. They all are right in their own way. So how do we figure out our own way of speaking to people? How do we become confident enough to have our own content and speak on camera? And the through line of this is that generally it's the fear of being seen, because you don't know what you're saying and you're not confident in what you're saying. You don't know exactly who you're speaking to, or you might not know what offer you're trying to pitch to somebody. And what I see with a lot of people is that they do, like what Lou was saying, with the multiple different offers. One day they're speaking about, let's just use the same examples. One day they're speaking about weight loss, and then the next day they're speaking about muscle gain. So because of this, their audience is confused. So how do you show up with confidence and captivate your audience enough to sell to them? It's all about knowing your message. And before we go any further, I have got a bit of a worksheet that you can do, like go away and do later. So if you want to bring out your phones and go to PULATUS media and DM me FWB, Friends with Benefits, on Instagram.
Right now, yeah?
Yeah, Pilatus Media.
.com?
No, on Instagram. So go to Instagram and type in Pilatus Media.
Oh wow, like in the search box?
Yeah, so find my account, this account. Instagram profile, Pilatus Media.
This is you also.
This is me. This is my business me that I was telling you about. I can't show up on camera for that account with this. And then the message that you're going to send is FWB. Vincent, you've already done it. And then follow the prompts, and when you've done that, we'll go back to... So you don't have, like, you can follow this along while I'm talking if you want to, but really that's something for you to go away and have something to implement and work through, basically becoming clear on what you're selling in your audience. So I'll give you a moment to do that. It should send to...
Yeah, it does. Gets it.
Yeah, it does. And then you put your email in.
Yep. Give it email.
Did it send? It worked for you, right?
Yeah, it took a couple of minutes for each thing to come through.
Okay. Might be the Wi-Fi.
It's in the pipeline.
Yeah,
It's coming.
it's waiting.
Okay.
Do we need to do something in that website?
This is for you to go through afterwards, like to know basically who your ideal client is and all of that. So basically that is a worksheet that you can go through, like who's my ideal client, like how am I speaking to them, a bit of information
Later
for you
today,
later.
But not now.
Yeah, you don't have to do it today, just like something for you to sit down and do. There's also a docs version if you're not a Notion person, there's a docs version that you can grab it from there too. Cool. So a lot of people think, okay, well, I don't know how to show up on camera confidently, and they just want the answer to how do I show up on camera. But before you do that, you need to know who you're speaking to, because then you're always going to be not confident on camera, because you're not going to know who you're speaking to. Therefore, you're not going to be confident in what you're saying when you are speaking to people on when you're filming. So if you're not clear, you're not confident. And if you're not confident, then it's going to show. So you need to know who you help, how you help them, and why they should care about what it is that you're selling. So you need to avoid making content that is vague and that is not going to connect with exactly who you're speaking to. So when you're so clear on who you're speaking to, which is what the first part of that ideal avatar framework goes through, when you're so clear, every piece of content that you make should have your ideal client saying, oh my God, this is me, rather than them scrolling past. So you need to have a clear message on who you help so you can actually connect with the people. And that's done through knowing exactly who you're speaking to. So it's not just, I speak to women about weight loss. I speak to women in their 40s about weight loss who don't have the time to go to the gym every day and have a family that they want to spend more time to. So going really deep on going really deep on who you're speaking to. What are their online habits? When are they likely to be online for me to be speaking to them and posting? So down to all of who they are as a demographic, as well as what their habits are, is how you're going to then become confident in who you're speaking to, rather than a vague version of that avatar. So I actually wrote down an example to give you. So basically, when you're working through that worksheet, the best thing, and the LinkedIn people, I don't know if they're still here, they'll know this I help statement. So I help ideal client with pain point so they can achieve future pace desire. Once you work out your I help statement, creating content becomes a lot easier, because you know exactly who it is and how. So when you're creating content, you've got that I help statement in mind. It's also something that you can pop in your bio as well. So let's just say we've got our example avatar. So the demographics is she's 32, female, lives in Sydney, and she's a wellness coach. Let's just say it's somebody for me. Dreams of financial freedom, but struggles with burnout and loves yoga. Her social media behavior might be that she spends hours on Instagram, follows 5 mindset coaches, saves reels, but rarely actually engages with people and doesn't implement anything. She's just saving a bunch of stuff. She believes she's good at what she does. She values freedom, and she's motivated by her family, but she's overwhelmed by content, and she wants to sign 3 high-ticket clients in the next 6 months. So if I was to speak to that person, I know what I need to say to speak to that person to be able to overcome their what they're struggling with, to be able to be the solution and show up as the authority for them. Give them a name, give them a personality. I like to base mine off real life conversations and real people that I speak to. It makes it a lot easier as well. So if you're already speaking to your ideal client, then most of your work's already done for you. You just need to give them a name and really refine it. So you want to attract the right people instead of just everybody. And a lot of people get scared with niching down, but I do think that if you are trying to speak to multiple people just on the chance that, like, you know, I don't want to weed people out, then you are less likely to speak to the right people and actually have people buying from you at a more high ticket level. So you want like scroll stopping hooks that aren't just like scroll stopping because of the structure, but scroll stopping for people to be like, what, that's me, that's exactly what I just thought, and you're inside my mind, so I need to read this, I need to watch this. That you need to speak to one person and not the whole internet, like a lot of people that I see doing. So positioning this filters out those people that you don't want to be DMing you and wasting your time, because ultimately, yeah, you can get 1,000 people DM you, that would be great, but if you did have 1,000 people DM you and only one of those people bought, you're wasting so much time on speaking to a lot of people that you're not actually going to convert with. So it's about attracting a smaller audience of people who are highly targeted rather than a vast audience of people that are maybe buyers, and that's where Lou's stuff comes in as well, where you've got the people like the freebie, the mid-ticket, the high ticket. So you want that front of funnel to work for you, so you're not speaking directly all the time to all of the people who are like just freebie seekers or just mid-ticket people, and they're actually going through your flow, that you're actually only speaking to the high ticket people, and that's where you're wasting, that's where you're putting your time and spending the most energy, because they're the people that you want to spend the energy on. So micro stories in your first 3 seconds that people can relate to are going to be your best friend. They're going to be what makes people actually watch the rest of your video, in creating that presence in that first 3 seconds, in saying, this speaks to me. They're going to keep watching. So having that, and you can base it off a real life situation that you've spoken to a client with, or it might be something that you've overcome in your journey. I think the best type of marketing is something where they can relate to an actual person's story, so they can see that somebody else has gone through this struggle as well. So whether it is your ideal client, your current client and a story of theirs, or whether it's your own. So making people see, okay, this is like other people are struggling with this, and this person has helped them or helped themselves with it. So of course they'll be able to help me with it as well. And then building a personal brand means building trust. So you don't have anything without trust, and building a personal brand online means showing up. It means being in front of the camera. It means engaging with your audience. So to do that, you need to be able to obviously speak to them. That is being the first part of it. But the second part is actually showing up on camera. And that's where, when you do have your ideal client, you do have your message, you've got your offers laid out, that's when you start to incorporate the camera and talking on camera. So you've got those elements that Lou was talking about of the personal, like the sales, all the different types of content, like behind the scenes, bringing people into your story to show them on a deeper level that you are the person that can help them, and they can trust you with helping them solve their problem. So behind the scenes, day in the life, approachable authority. So being the person that makes them have that aha moment, but also letting them, like opening up enough for them to engage with you with questions, and for them to feel safe and comfortable when they see your content. So you want repeatable kind of formats to use as well. So you can also like shift things from carousels to reels and vice versa, and leaning into things that are already working and people who are engaging with your content. Reformat that in a different way. It might be a different hook at the start, but the same through line message and a different CTA, or you might be changing a carousel to a talking head reel. There's lots of ways that people think that they need to have something different, but the secret is to say the same thing over and over and over again in a different way, because that is what is going to stick in your ideal client's mind, because they need to see your content 7 to 21 times before they actually decide that you're trustworthy enough to work with them. So the biggest issue that I see people is they think that it has to be something new. They have to say something new. They have to do something new. But what you actually need to do is say the same thing, because yeah, exactly, repetition. So trust building, that is, in such a highly AI world, people want connection. And I do think there is a place for AI. Alexa does a lot of AI stuff, and there is a lot of, there's a huge, I love AI. I think there's a huge place for it, but it does need to be also coupled with human connection. So I like to always say to my students and my clients to use I call it the R3 method, but it's be called a lot of different things, like top of funnel, middle funnel, bottom of funnel, all of those things, but I call it R3. So reach, relate, and revenue. So for reach, that's your top of funnel. So that's your growing, your visibility, your audience, and that should basically be 50% of your content. And then 30% of your content should be the relate. So that's things like your trust. So deepen your trust, connect with your audience, and get them to engage with you. So whether that is DMing you, whether that is commenting, whether that's building a community within your content as well and getting people to engage with each other in the content, that building of community is really going to make you sticky for them, because they're going to meet people through you, and you're always going to kind of be in their mind every time that they're speaking to this person, and they might speak to you, speak about you to other people. So you want to have that relate factor as a 30% of your content, which is that middle of funnel. And then the revenue, which is your sales. So that's driving action. So whether it's a DM automation, or whether it's them going to your link in bio or something like that. I do recommend to not do link in bio as much as you can, and really invest into ManyChat, because I love ManyChat. It's really not that expensive, and it does take that, it's easy for them, and then it's also easy for you. So unless you do have like a setter as well, then you, like the DM or comment is probably the best automation that you could do. So if your page feels like you're constantly teaching, then, and you're not growing, then you probably need to pull some more of the reach content in. So it will vary based on your goal. If you want to reach more people and have more follows and you don't really care about the sales, then you want to do more reach. If you want to hone in, like maybe you might have a launch, or you might be like launching your podcast, or you might be launching a new product, then you probably want to push in more sales content rather than the reach content. So it is going to fluctuate depending on what your goals are for social media too. And then finally, with the transition from the connection to conversion, when people have seen your content over and over and over again, and they've found the trust with you enough to want to work with you, you want to give them a way to. People on social media won't do things unless you tell them. Follow me, comment, like. They're not going to do those things unless you tell them to do them. So you need to have a clear CTA, and then again, the funnel that they go into, however it is that you want to set it up. But basically, it's like they're DMing you, or they're commenting, they're going into your lead magnet, and then from there you've got systems within your lead magnet and your email funnel to then upsell them and keep building that connection with them. That's where that grows into the nurturing them in your audience. So you want to train your audience what to expect for the next step. So for example, mine is like, you've got the DM, and then from the DM, they go into a sequence on my DMs. So they get the first message, then they get the second message, and then later they get another message, which then upsells them, and then they get another message, which is like the final message of like, work with me one-to-one. So this is the DM funnel. And this initial message is like where I'm capturing their email. And then I give them the freebie, and then in that freebie, I've also got another, hey, this freebie is great, but here's my low ticket offer. And then in my low ticket offer, I've got, this low ticket offer is great, but if you want more one-to-one support, let's work together one-to-one. So there's a few different avenues. So while they're going through this freebie, they're also getting this end of DM sequence as well, saying, hey, just following up, how did you find it? Like, what's a bit of feedback that you might create your connection? So connect. So I don't know if mine's any better than yours, Lou. So you want to connect with them, and they're building that. They'll either reply to you or not. If they don't reply to you, they then just get a little reminder of, hey, do you want more? So you're building that connection, that trust with them within that freebie funnel. So basically with your CTA, it'll be like, if you want dream, desire, future pace desire, whatever it is, then DM me keyword related to whatever you're selling, like what I asked you to do, friends with benefits. It's such a, like, do something that is simple. Also, what I would recommend with these is try and use something that's not an actual word that someone would be typing to you, because it'll fire off at weird times otherwise. So no one's really going to be typing FWB to me, like, so try and do something like that. when you do those freebie funnels. So I've got a little quick connection post for the framework. This is all in there in the sheet that I gave you as well. So basically you've got the hook, which is calling out a thought that they've had this week. So that might be like, for me, I might say, ever posted something that you thought would blow up, but then it gets crickets, like nothing, like nobody comments. And a lot of people will be like, yeah, I spent hours on that and nothing came through. So then I'll show the real reason why. So it's like, it's not the algorithm that's messing you up. It's not like people in your audience don't like what you're saying. It's that you don't have a clear message, so they don't know what's for them. So that would be me identifying the gap of what their actual issue is. And then I give them a little bit of a quick win to give them my authority. So how will they know that I'm the person to help them? How do they know that I can get them the result? So it might be like, I pick a particular client and I say, I gave my client a proven strategy for the stories, and they posted one story and got 10 DM replies, and from that, they made an extra 8K a month, which is a real story. Like, this is something that they would then be like, oh my God, she can do this, and she's actually done it for other people, and I want that result as well. And then from there, finally the CTA. So DM me, whatever your keyword is, if you want the 3-step story plug or 1-step story plug that you can use today to get X more leads. So that shows them oh my God, this is helpful, something that I can implement today, but also she's the authority and she's able to be able to do it with other people as well. So if they see that, they can learn more from you, they will then want to work with you. Or next time that you create a post, they're going to be like, oh, I liked her post last time, or I liked his post last time. I want to watch this and see what value she can give me today. So it might be that they're freebie seekers for a little while, which a lot of people are. They want to get to know like how you can help them, and if investing in you is actually going to be worth it. And then finally, when you actually get to a point of showing them enough of your authority, they're going to be like, yeah, I do want to invest in this person. So you want to give them the aha moments as well as the authority and a little bit of the why and a tip, but not exactly teaching them the how. So you want to be clear, because clear comes before confidence, and that's the issue with when people go to sit down to film. They're not confident because they're not clear on what they're going to say. If you think about, I've been here as well, sitting down to film, and then I'm like, what am I actually trying to say? And then I fumble, and it shows on camera that I'm not confident in what I'm saying because I just keep on being like, oh my God. And then because I'm frustrated, I'm showing that. I'm showing that to my audience, and then they're picking up on it. They will see it through the camera lens. They know when you're feeling frustrated. Real life example, Vincent, the other day, we filmed an ad for him, and here today he's like, I'm feeling more confident, let's film it again. And it was 10 times better. So you, like, if you are having those doubts and like you're not feeling your best self, then it's going to show, and just give up for that moment. That's okay to not go ahead and do that piece of content, because the reality is you don't want to put something that's not your best foot forward, because it's not going to convert the same way that you want it to. So it's all right if you're having that moment, just sit down, breathe, maybe do it the next day, come back when you're feeling better, and have a clear through line on what you want them to get out of it. So what is it that they're going to walk away with? What message are they going to be clearer on? And what aha moment do you want them to have from it? What value are you going to give them? So tips for filming is break your scripts into sentences. You don't need to be like, blurt it all out in one line. You are allowed to use the front camera if you feel like you need to look at yourself to figure out how is it positioned, do I look okay? If you're filming particularly by yourself, this can be really helpful when you're first starting, being able to see yourself. And it does actually, some people don't like it, but a lot of people feel like it makes them feel more confident because they can see what they're doing rather than being like, oh, am I in the right frame? So film in front camera if you feel like you want to. And that also leads into you're allowed to use a script. Use a script app like transcript or a captions app. So you don't have to remember everything. That skill will come. Even like today, I still don't even use, like, remember all the time, all at once. If I've got a bunch of scripts, say if I'm doing like a day of filming where I do 5 scripts, I'm probably not going to remember all of them all at once. So some of them I will like film in a different way where I don't have the script. Some of them I film with the script. So it's okay to film with the script on the camera, on the screen too. So that's basically everything that I wanted to go over, but I do know that a lot of people struggle with talking on camera and probably have specific questions about that rather than the front part of figuring out who your ideal client is and everything like that. It is really important to do. A lot of people hear me say, oh, we're going to figure out who we're speaking to in our message, and they're like, yeah, no, I already know that. I promise you, you haven't gone deep enough. You need to go deeper with it. You need to know, like, to a T exactly who you're speaking to, their pain points, and if you think you've gone deeper, you haven't. You need to go deeper. You need to know exactly what your message is and what you're selling to them, the transformation that you're selling. So I do encourage you to sit down and do that, even if you think that you have it. Just try go deeper with it, because for me, I thought that I knew who I was speaking to, and I really didn't. And then when I sat down and did that, I then became more confident in like, okay, I know that the content that I'm creating is going to be helpful for someone. So then when I did post it and maybe I didn't get all of the engagement that I wanted to get on it to start off with, I knew that it was still going to help somebody. And eventually I did get people coming through. So it's about repetition, and even if you're not seeing the results now, they will come, because you're teaching the algorithm who you want to speak to, and you're building trust with people. If you think about your own online habits, you probably don't engage with people straight away, but you like their content in your mind, just not physically. And then, but the more that you watch, the algorithm and Instagram or TikTok sees you watching that person's content, they'll put it in front of your eyes. So, any questions?
Questions. So, a few of them. The first one, we should talk to the audience in singular you or plural you?
I would say when you're speaking to the camera and speaking to your audience, speak like you're speaking to one person. You're not speaking to 10 different people that you could sell to. You're speaking to one person. You're selling to one person in that moment. Does that help?
What are your thoughts when people are putting content out there for months and they only having 10 likes and they're from friends? That happened also.
Yeah, that
People
means
are
that they
consistent putting stuff out there.
I would say they need to go deeper on who they're trying to speak to. If they're not getting, likes aren't everything. If they might be getting DMs, if you're converting in the DMs but it's not like in the likes, then you're still converting. But if you're just getting likes, nobody's DMing you, I would say it's your message. You need to go deeper on who you're speaking to and your ideal client, because it's obviously not hitting with them. Also, there's something to be said as well for engaging with people who are your ideal clients, because that puts your account in front of their face. So people are then going to be clicking on them. Third one?
Kick out.
You first.
Can you talk about beauty privilege in terms of like content creation?
Yeah, well, that's a hook in itself.
Put a mask next time.
Yeah, well, that is a hook in itself. Obviously, pretty privilege is a hook in itself, but pretty privilege can be said same for the view that is behind you as well. So it's not just pretty privilege in the way that you look, it's the way that you are, well, I guess dressing, the way you are. There's lots of different things that can hook somebody into a video. It's not just the way that you look as well.
Sometimes maybe the opposite can help as well.
Yeah, it can. Anyone else? Geordie?
Another question. I have a personal account, like me, as Jordi, for the last 15 or 20 years on Instagram. If I want to brand myself, should I use that account or should I start with a new fresh one? It's not about the number of followers that I have, because they're only friends. It's like, what do you think the algorithm will make it better? Like with someone like an account that didn't have any traction, or with a new one?
Yeah. If you were to start with your own, it would then be retraining it to be in front of the eyes of the people that you're interested in, which you can do because you can then like engage with those accounts that are your ideal client. I started for Pilatus Media, I started that one fresh. And I built that one up with just my ideal client in mind, and I didn't I would even remove people that weren't my ideal client if they followed me, because I just didn't want people that weren't going to buy from me. So it's completely up to you. There are a lot of people that swap their personal account over to a business account, and that does work. It's just that it would be retraining the algorithm as to like who it is that you want to speak to, and you might be surprised some of your personal network might be your ideal client too. So if you want to keep that account, I would definitely say do it. But also as well, if you want to be personal and you don't want to mix them, then you could separate them.
Better, you suggest separate things.
Yeah, if you want to have personal stuff like in a personal account and you don't want to mix them, then definitely separate it, which is what I wanted for Pilatus.
Just quickly on that, I definitely think that using your own personal one, like depending on what you're doing. Like if you're building a business like Pilatus Media or whatever, a little bit different. But if you're trying to build like a personal brand, I definitely think using your own is better, because if it's got like pictures of you doing stuff or on holiday and doing things like there's like a group of things that you need to show people for them to be able to like trust you.
Yeah.
Like, you need to show them your business side, you need to show your fitness, you need to show just that you're a normal human being. You're not just like selling someone something. And I feel like as well with fresh accounts, it takes a lot longer to gain traction because your loved ones are the most likely to get you engagement, which will then shoot you off type of thing. Like I've got a Instagram for my podcast. If I put something on that, it might get like 100 or 200 views. If I collaborate with my main account, and like I've only got like 1,200 followers or something, so like not many at all, but sometimes I can get like 3,000 or 4,000 views or something like it just drastically changes it. And I feel like the people like, I suppose the point I'm trying to get at is that your loved ones and stuff like that, and the people that you're trying to show what you're doing and all that type of stuff will eventually like.
It's because the engagement, so basically the way that it works is when you post something, it goes to your audience first, and then if they like it, it gets pushed to everyone else. So that's telling Instagram, this is a good piece of content which is going to keep people on this app, so keep pushing it because people like this. So if it gets pushed to your audience and they don't engage with it, then it's not going to get pushed to everyone else, because they're going to say, oh, this could make people go off the app if they see too many of these things that people don't like to see and people aren't engaging with. So that is another good point as well. And when you are building a personal brand, is you, right? So my Ashma account is my personal brand. That's where I do all of my UGC, my content creation, all of that stuff is all through Ashma, because that is my personal brand. So I use that audience to like help me build that that side of my business.
What I'm understanding is you're using your personal account to grow your business account.
I did use that, yeah, I did start doing that, but for me it's a little bit different because I have two sides of my business. This one is my agency for social media, and this one is my content creator, well, this one that is not there. This one is my personal account, which is my content creator business. So I have two sides to what I do. So that's why it works for me. But I definitely think if you're just starting out, don't try and run to accounts like actively, because it is a lot of work and you'll burn yourself out.
I definitely agree with that. I haven't done much with my other one, but just having like the double amount of notifications and like all that type of stuff, I think you're just better off just having one, go hard at it, and then if it gets to a point where it's like, say you've got 15,000 followers and you don't want to put up a photo of you and your kids, or you go on a holiday or something a little bit more personal, then you go the other way. Then you create a personal one and just follow mum, dad, sister, friend, like close friends type of scenario. I feel like it's better going one way than going the other.
Yeah. It's a lot of work to handle more than one account, especially if you are just starting. So you have to think of content like for me, I think, oh, this content that I'm putting here is different from this content, so I have to have two different strategies, which is fine because I'm a social media manager, but if you're not, you're just going to get burnt out, dizzy, confused, question what you're doing, change your strategy 20 times, start questioning whether you're right for it. Like, you're just going to have all of the imposter syndrome thoughts because it's going to become too overwhelming.
But I also think at the end of the day, when you have a personal brand, what is good is that people start to trust you. So let's say today you sell, I don't know, like kitchen stuff, but tomorrow you talk about fitness because they already trust you and they've been following you for so long. Then it doesn't really matter what you sell because they trust you.
Yeah.
So then they will buy no matter what you sell. You know what I mean? So
You become the brand, yeah.
I would say just do that.
So what do you think? Because sometimes I see girls that they're doing something suspicious, like I think that they're OnlyFans, and I'm curious, like, and I see that they have multiple accounts. So why people have multiple accounts and not one?
Because suspicious stuff will get you shadow banned.
And all of them are just going to one, they don't post anything, but they have
this comes down to diversifying. So this is what Lou was saying earlier about not owning your audience. So this is the storefront. Let's just say the digital storefront. It's somebody walking past the shop window and be like, oh, I like that. But when they get you to come in, a lot of places these days are like, oh, have you signed up to our mailing list? Can I grab your email? That's where you actually own that customer, because they might not go past your storefront again. You might decide to close your bricks and mortar store, and then where do people find you? Emails. So you can go straight to them. For you, might be you get people into your WhatsApp community. You own them. You own them then. So you want to diversify. So whether that does look like having your mailing list, whether it looks like cross-posting across different channels.
Also, we see sometimes people have like backup accounts
Yes, yeah.
in case something happens.
So yeah, a lot of people do that and they just cross-post, like same content, different channel.
That was my next question. Why people are using different social networks and they're posting different videos, and some others are doing the same video and different?
It's just a strategy that people, like, first of all, it's the workload, what people can keep up with. Second of all, might be their strategy. So different platforms, different content performs better on. But if people want to be multi-channel, but they don't have the time, then they'll just same content, different platform to build that audience, like no matter where they are. So that's why they do stuff like that. So it might be like they're posting the same thing, but it's on like Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, YouTube. They're just trying to build a multi-channel presence. So if one of them goes down, we've got other backups. But ultimately, email's key, whatever you want to call it. Email, phone numbers. They too. Any more questions? No? You're free for the rest of the day to do whatever you want. Lounge by the pool, mingle, leave, and check out